Now, the reason I was in South Africa is because of this particular chart, which summarizes IQ scores that Professor Richard Lynn alluded to in his talk. East Asians, both here in the United States and Canada, as well as in their home continents, that's Chinese, Japanese, and Koreans, average a slightly higher IQ than do white people. The average I have there is 106. Whites average about 100. A few estimates may place it a little bit higher and say 103. Black Americans average about 85. And again, blacks in Canada or Britain or in the Caribbean average around 85 too, maybe slightly higher, up as high as 90. But it's the very far bar on that graph which has excited a lot of controversy, the IQ of 70. Because an IQ of 70 is the lowest IQ ever found in the world, and it's based on 20 or 30 different studies from East, South, West, and Central Africa. And it really doesn't seem to change even if you select the population to be studied from people in primary school, people who've got jobs, people in urban centers. In other words, samples that might be thought to have a slightly higher IQ. The average of 70 to maybe 75 consistently comes out. I should put it into context. If white people in Canada or the United States have an IQ of 70, this is considered borderline mentally retarded. So I went to South Africa essentially in search of a high IQ African population. So I searched for a top university within Johannesburg. I went to South Africa myself rather than let my collaborators collect the data because I was very concerned that perhaps all the other IQ tests that had been given under very poor conditions. And I wanted to absolutely standardize the conditions and satisfy for myself, as well as I possibly could, the integrity of the testing. What we did, we had 300 first-year undergraduate psychology students, half of whom were black and half of whom were white, and we paid them $10 US for taking part. This is one of the tests. It's a very well-known Raven's progressive matrices. It's nonverbal, so you don't even have to use language to explain it. And what you have to do essentially is to pick from the array of answers at the bottom the piece that is missing from the top. And if you examine the top there, you can see that there's a circle with a couple of lines, which goes into a circle with a full line, and then there's a square with a couple of lines, and you're looking for what does it turn into. And you look around the bottom there, and you'll see that there is, in fact, a square with a full half bottom, and that's the correct answer, which is number 6, I believe. What? It is number 6 is the correct answer. These are the answers. These are the bell-shaped curves that you often see. The African scores peak considerably lower down than do the white scores. In fact, the average Africans get 44 out of 60 correct, whereas the whites got 54 out of 60 correct. Now, 44 out of 60 correct is roughly, according to the norms of the test, what a 14-year-old junior high school student in America gets. And these are first-year university students. Putting it into an IQ context, getting 44 out of 60 correct is an IQ of 84. An IQ of 84 is substantially higher, it's about a standard deviation higher, than an IQ of 70, which is the African population. But it implies that since most university students are one standard deviation higher than the average, and the university students have 84, then the average for the South African population as a whole must be about 70.